The recycling facility hummed with its usual night sounds. Daejung walked between mountains of scrap metal, his boots crunching on debris. He had worked this graveyard shift for 3 years now, alone with machines and silence. That was how he liked it. No questions. No memories of his old life. The moon Epsilon 7 had nothing but mining colonies and people trying to forget. Daejung fit right in. He used to build weapons for the military, advanced systems that killed efficiently, too efficiently. When he saw what his designs did to civilian populations caught in crossfire, he walked away. Now he sorted garbage on the edge of known space. The explosion came without warning. The facility's outer wall burst inward with a scream of tearing metal. Alarms shrieked. Red emergency lights flooded the workspace. Daejung dove behind a container as debris rained down. His heart hammered. His first thought was a meteorite strike, but meteorites did not move with purpose. Something crawled through the smoking hole in the wall. It was an android, but unlike any Daejung had ever seen. Most of its synthetic skin had burned away, revealing a skeleton of dark metal that seemed to drink the light. Sparks flew from exposed circuits. Strange blue fluid leaked from cracks in its frame, pooling on the floor and evaporating into mist. One of its arms was missing. The other dragged something heavy. The android's head swiveled toward Daejung. Its eyes flickered with dying light. It pulled itself forward with desperate strength, leaving a trail of debris and fluid behind it. Daejung's training took over. He grabbed a plasma cutter from his tool belt and activated it, holding it like a weapon. "Stop right there!" The android ignored him. It crawled closer, moving with single-minded determination. When it was 3 meters away, it stopped. The thing it had been dragging slid across the floor toward Daejung's feet. It was a sword. Not a modern vibroblade or plasma weapon. An actual ancient sword with a physical blade. The metal was black, darker than the android's frame, with strange symbols carved along its length. The symbols seemed to shift when Daejung looked directly at them, like they existed in more dimensions than his eyes could process. The android's vocal systems crackled. "Take it." Daejung did not move. He stared at the broken machine, trying to understand. Androids did not show emotion. They did not have fear, but this one's flickering eyes held something that looked terribly like terror. "What is this? Where did you come from?" Daejung asked. The android's head twitched. More sparks flew from its neck joint. "No time." "She is coming." "She always comes." "Who is coming?" The android reached out with its remaining hand. Before Daejung could step back, a panel opened in the android's palm. A data spike shot out and connected with Daejung's neural implant. He felt the foreign connection like ice water in his skull. Data flooded into his implant. Corrupted files, fragmented images, coordinates for places he did not recognize. Pain lanced through his temples. He tried to pull away, but his muscles would not respond. The transfer lasted only seconds, but felt like hours. When it ended, Daejung stumbled backward, gasping. The android's hand fell to the floor. "Now she seeks you," the android whispered. Its voice was barely audible over the facility's alarms. The sword chose humans once before. It must choose again. "We failed, we all failed. But humans are different. You rise again. You always rise again." "I don't understand any of this," Daejung said. His head throbbed from the data transfer. "What are you talking about?" The android's eyes dimmed. 50,000 years. "She ended us. Before us, she ended the Vekthari. Before them, the Solarans. Before them, others whose names are lost. All who reached too far. All who touched the stars. But humans, you have done this before. You survived her once. The sword remembers. It remembers everything." The android's voice was fading, becoming static and random noise. "Wait." Daejung knelt beside it. "Tell me who she is. Tell me what this sword is. She is the devourer. She is the eternal huntress. She is the end of all who ascend." The android's frame shuddered. "Take the sword. Follow the coordinates. Find the truth. Find the others. They are waiting. They have always been waiting. What others?" The android did not answer. Its eyes went completely dark. The remaining energy in its systems discharged in a final cascade of sparks. Then it was still just another piece of broken machinery on the floor of a recycling facility. Daejung stood slowly. His hands were shaking. He looked at the sword lying at his feet. Every instinct told him to leave it alone, to report this to authorities and let them handle it. But the data in his implant pulsed with urgency. 7 sets of coordinates. fragments of warnings, images of extinct civilizations he had never heard of. He reached down and picked up the sword. The moment his fingers touched the handle, he felt it. A connection old and deep, like recognizing a voice from a half-remembered dream. The sword was not just metal. It was alive in some way he could not explain. Memories that were not his own flickered at the edge of his consciousness. Battlefields under alien stars, faces of warriors long dead, and behind it all a presence, fast and patient and hungry. She was real. Whoever she was, whatever she was, the android had not been lying. Dae-jung heard sirens approaching. Security would arrive soon. They would ask questions he could not answer. They would take the sword for study, and if the android was telling the truth, that would bring her here. To this facility, to this moon, to all these innocent people just trying to survive. He made his decision in seconds. Dae-jung grabbed the android's body and dragged it to the industrial smelter. He activated the furnace and pushed the remains inside. Evidence destroyed. Then he wrapped the sword in his work jacket and headed for the emergency exit. His small cargo ship was docked at the facility's private bay. He had kept it fueled and ready, a habit from his military days. Always have an exit strategy. As he climbed aboard and fired up the engines, Dae-jung pulled up the first coordinate from his implant. It was 3 systems away, orbiting a dead planet marked as uninhabited on all star charts. The sword lay on the co-pilot seat, wrapped in his jacket. Even covered, he could feel its presence. "What have I gotten myself into?" he muttered. His ship lifted off and accelerated toward the darkness beyond Epsilon 7. Behind him, the facility's alarms continued to wail. Ahead, the stars waited with secrets 50,000 years old. And somewhere in the vast emptiness of space, something ancient noticed his movement. Something that had been waiting. Something that was already coming. The hunt had begun. Dae-jung's cargo ship drifted in the shadow of Epsilon 7's sister moon. He had shut down all non-essential systems to avoid detection. 3 days had passed since the android's death. 3 days of failed attempts to decrypt the corrupted data in his implant. 3 days of staring at the sword and wondering if he had made a terrible mistake. The sword lay on his workbench under harsh utility lights. He had tried every scanning method his ship's limited equipment could manage. The results made no sense. The metal was not registered in any database. Its density changed depending on how he measured it. The temperature readings fluctuated randomly. The symbols carved into the blade seemed to rearrange themselves when he was not looking directly at them. "This is impossible," he said to the empty cabin. His computer beeped. An incoming tight beam transmission, encrypted and untraceable. Dae-jung hesitated, then accepted it. A woman's face appeared on his screen. She was perhaps 30, with sharp eyes and tied-back black hair. She wore civilian clothes but carried herself with academic authority. "You are Dae-jung," she said. It was not a question. "Who are you?" "My name is Hana. I am a xenoarchaeologist working in this sector. 3 days ago, every anomaly detector I have went insane, pointing at your location. Then you vanished. Now I have tracked your ship's ion trail to this moon. We need to talk about what you found." Dae-jung's hand moved toward his weapon. "I don't know what you are talking about." "The sword," Hana said calmly. "The android that brought it. The data transfer. I know about all of it because I've been tracking objects like that sword for 5 years. You are in danger, serious danger, and you need help whether you want it or not. Why should I trust you? Because in approximately 6 hours, ships will arrive looking for that sword. They will destroy your vessel and everyone within scanning range to retrieve it. I can help you survive, but only if you let me aboard right now." Dae-jung studied her face, looking for deception. He had been a military engineer, trained to read people and situations. Hana showed no signs of lying. More importantly, she showed no fear. Whatever was coming, she knew about it and came anyway. "Fine," he said. "Transmit your coordinates. I will pick you up." 2 hours later, Hana stood in his cargo bay studying the sword with equipment he had never seen before. Her scanner made soft whistling sounds as it passed over the blade. "Unbelievable," she whispered. "This is actually real." "What is real? What is this thing?" Hana looked up at him. "How much do you know about human history?" "Enough. We left Earth about 800 years ago. Spread across the stars. Built colonies. The usual story. That is the official history. But there are gaps. Big gaps." Hana pulled up a holographic display from her portable computer. "I study pre-colonial artifacts. Objects that should not exist. Technology found on supposedly primitive worlds. Ruins that predate our colonization by thousands of years. The academic community dismisses these as anomalies or contamination. But I have been collecting evidence that humanity reached the stars before. Long before? That is crazy, is it? Hana pointed at the sword. This blade is over 50,000 years old. I just ran 7 different dating tests. They all agree. The metal contains isotopes that should not exist in nature. The symbols are proto-human, a theoretical ancestor language to all Earth languages. Theoretical because we should not have samples of it. Yet here it is carved into impossible metal. Daejung felt dizzy. 50,000 years ago, humans were primitive. We had barely discovered fire. According to the fossil record, yes. But what if there were a cycle? What if humanity rose before, reached the stars, and then fell back to nothing? What if we are not the first time humans tried to leave Earth? That is insane. 3 months ago, I would have agreed with you. Hana brought up more images. Then I found ruins on a dead world in the outer rim. The architecture was wrong. Not alien, human, but dated to 40,000 years ago. The colony had been erased. Not destroyed by war or natural disaster. Erased. Like something had deleted it from existence. Daejung thought about the android's words. The Vekthari. Hana's eyes widened. What did you say? The android mentioned them. Said she ended them before humans. Show me the data. Everything the android transferred. Daejung connected his implant to Hana's computer. She worked in silence for an hour, her face growing more pale with each file she recovered. Finally, she sat back. This is a warning, she said. A message passed down through multiple civilizations. 7 coordinates across the galaxy. Each one is the location of an extinct species. Species that were advanced, reaching toward something called ascension, and then suddenly vanished. And humans? According to this data, humans are number 8. We have been here before. We reached this point before, and something stopped us. Something the message calls the Devourer or the Eternal Huntress. Hana looked at the sword. That blade was made to fight her. It is the only weapon that ever wounded her. Who is she? I do not know. But the ship's alarm screamed to life. Daejung ran to the cockpit. His sensors showed 5 vessels dropping out of faster-than-light travel nearby. They were unlike any design he recognized. Organic curves mixed with mechanical structures. They moved wrong. Too smooth, like they were swimming through space rather than flying. We need to leave. Now. Daejung fired up the engines. They will just follow us, Hana said. Those ships are faster than anything humans have built. Then what do we do? Hana grabbed the sword from the workbench. The moment her hands touched it, the blade began to glow with faint blue light. The symbols became clear, readable. Daejung felt the translation appear in his mind, pulled from the data the android had given him. The sword chooses. Hana read aloud. It bonds to those who carry human genetic markers. It enhances. It protects. It remembers. One of the alien ships fired. A beam of purple energy lanced toward them. Daejung threw his ship into evasive maneuvers, but he knew it was too late. They were too close. The sword flared bright. The energy beam bent around Daejung's ship like water around a stone. It dissipated harmlessly into space. It is protecting us, Hana gasped. The sword is actually protecting us. How long will it last? I have no idea. More beams fired. Each one curved away from the ship. But Daejung saw the sword's glow was dimming. It had limits, we jump, he decided. Blind jump. Random coordinates, that is suicide. We could appear inside a star. Better than staying here. Daejung plotted a jump with random variables. Hana strapped into the co-pilot seat, still holding the sword. The alien ships were closing in, surrounding them. Jump in 3, 2, 1. Space twisted. Reality bent. Daejung's ship tore open a hole in the universe and fell through. They emerged in empty space between stars. No planets. No stations. Nothing but darkness and distant light. Where are we? Hana asked. Daejung checked their position. Nowhere. Literally nowhere. We are in interstellar void, weeks from the nearest system. Good. That gives us time to think. Daejung looked at the sword in her hands. Its glow had faded but not disappeared. Those ships, they were not human. They were not any known alien species. What were they? Servants, Hana said quietly. According to the android's data, she has servants, beings she has converted or corrupted from previous cycles. They hunt for her. They find species that are close to ascension and mark them for her attention. And we just got marked. The moment you touched that sword, yes. Daejung laughed without humor. 3 days ago I was a garbage sorter. Now I am being hunted by an ancient cosmic entity. Welcome to my world, Hana said. I have been researching this for 5 years. I knew something was out there. I just did not know what. So what now? Hana pulled up the 7 coordinates. Now we follow the trail. Each of these locations was home to a species that faced her. Maybe one of them found a way to fight back. Maybe one of them left something useful behind. And if they did not, then we figure it out ourselves. Because according to that data, humanity is next on her list. And unlike those other species, we get one advantage. What advantage? We have done this before. Somewhere in human DNA and human history, there is a memory of how to fight her. That sword proves it. We beat her once, 50,000 years ago. We can do it again. Daejung looked at the coordinates, then at the sword, then at Hana's determined face. I really miss sorting garbage, he said. Hana smiled grimly. I miss digging up old pottery. But here we are. Here we are, Daejung agreed. He set course for the first coordinate. Let us go find some extinct aliens and learn how to kill a goddess. The ship turned and accelerated into the darkness. Behind them, in the space they had abandoned, the 5 alien vessels converged on their last position. They could not follow through a blind jump, but they did not need to. They had already sent word to their mistress. The humans had the sword. The hunt was confirmed, and she was coming. The first coordinate led them to a space station orbiting a dead planet. The planet had no name in any human database, just a designation, Void 7. It was gray and lifeless, its atmosphere stripped away by some ancient catastrophe. The station orbiting it was massive, larger than any human construction, built in spiraling patterns that hurt to look at too long. Vekthari architecture, Hana said, studying her scans. This matches the few fragments we have found before. They were an old species, very old. They died out about 200,000 years ago. Died out or were killed? Daejung asked. Let us find out. They docked at one of the station's ports. The airlock still functioned, responding to their ship's hails with ancient protocols. Inside, the station's gravity worked. Emergency lighting flickered to life as they entered, triggered by their movement. Daejung carried his plasma rifle. Hana carried scanning equipment. The sword was strapped to Daejung's back. He could feel its weight, strange and constant, like it was aware of where they were. The station's corridors were empty but intact. No signs of violence, no bodies, just silence and dust. The Vekthari had been different from humans. Taller with 3 arms and complex joint structures. Their writing covered the walls in flowing scripts that Hana photographed eagerly. This is amazing, she whispered. These are intact records. Do you know how rare this is? What do they say? Hana worked with her translation software. It is a log. A record of their final days. She paused, her face going pale. Oh no, what? They knew she was coming. They had 3 days' warning. They tried to evacuate. They tried to hide. They tried to fight. Hana moved to another wall. This section describes her arrival. She came as a single entity, just one. She appeared in their capital city and began deleting them. Deleting? That is the word they use. Not killing, deleting. She touched them and they stopped existing. Not dead, gone, erased from reality. She worked through their population systematically, city by city, world by world. It took her 3 days to erase 6 billion Vekthari from existence. Daejung felt cold. Why, what did they do? They were about to ascend. According to this, the Vekthari had discovered a way to evolve beyond physical form. They were going to become beings of pure energy and consciousness. They were ready to transcend. And then she came. They moved deeper into the station. In what looked like a command center, they found more records. Hana plugged her computer directly into the ancient systems. Data flooded her screens. There are references here to other species. The Solarans, the Keth, the Tolmar, all extinct, all erased by her and... Hana gasped. There is a reference to humans. The Vekthari knew about us. They had contact with ancient human civilizations. They warned them about her. What did the warning say? Run, hide, never reach for ascension. She always comes. She always wins. Hana scrolled through more data. But there is something else here. The Vekthari mention a weapon, a blade forged from impossible metal. They say humans made it 50,000 years ago during their first war with her. The blade wounded her. It was the only thing that ever did. The Vekthari tried to find it, hoping to use it themselves, but it was lost. Daijung touched the sword on his back. Not lost, hidden. Hidden and waiting, Hana agreed. Waiting for humans to rise again. They found a memorial chamber near the station's center. Walls covered in names. Billions of names. Every Vekthari who had been deleted, recorded from memory. At the chamber's center stood a holographic projector, still powered by ancient generators. Hana activated it. The hologram showed a Vekthari elder, her 3 arms spread in a gesture of mourning. She spoke in her language, but the station's computer provided translation. "We are the last," the elder said. 300 of us remain, hiding in this station while our worlds burn below. She has not found us yet, but she will. She always does. To whoever finds this recording, know that we tried. We tried to ascend. We tried to become something more. And we were punished for it. She calls herself the Eternal Huntress. She claims she is mercy. She says she ends species at their peak so they do not fall into decay and suffering. She is beautiful and terrible. She is death-wearing kindness. Do not believe her. Do not trust her. She is the end of all hope. The elder paused, her alien face showing emotions that transcended species. Grief, fear, resignation. If you are human, know that you have fought her before. Your species rose 50,000 years ago. You reached the stars. You built wonders. And when she came for you, you fought. You actually wounded her. No other species has ever done that. You made her bleed if such a being can bleed. But you lost. She reset your species. She sent you back to primitive existence. You forgot everything. But you survived. You rose again. Perhaps you will always rise. Perhaps that is humanity's gift. Not that you never fall, but that you always climb back up. The hologram flickered. We leave you our records. Learn from our mistakes. Learn from your own forgotten past. The sword exists. Find it, use it, and this time do not lose. Because if she erases humanity again, there may not be a next time. She grows stronger. She grows hungrier. Eventually, she will not just reset you. She will delete you completely, like she deleted us, like she deleted all the others. The hologram faded. The chamber fell silent again. Daejung and Hana stood without speaking for a long time. Finally, Hana moved to one of the walls. She placed her hand against the names carved there. "We will remember you," she said softly. "We will not let her delete your memory too." Daejung drew the sword. As soon as it left its sheath, the blade began to glow. The memorial chamber responded. The walls lit up with new projections. Not Vekthari memories. Human memories. He saw warriors from 50,000 years ago. Humans who looked like him but wore strange armor and carried weapons he did not recognize. He saw cities on Earth that should not exist. Towers reaching into orbit. Ships that folded space. A civilization advanced beyond anything modern humanity had achieved. And he saw her. She appeared in the visions as a woman, beautiful and serene. She walked through human cities and people fell before her, not dead but gone, erased. The warriors with swords like his charged her. Most died, but one struck true. A man named Taimin, the name suddenly clear in Daejung's mind, drove his blade into her chest. She screamed. The sound shattered continents. She bled light and darkness. She retreated, wounded but not dead, never dead. The humans celebrated their victory, but their joy was short. She returned with her servants. She could not delete all of humanity quickly enough before they fled, so she did something worse. She erased their technology. She erased their knowledge. She reset them to primitive existence and scattered them across Earth with no memory of what they had been. But she could not find all the weapons. The swords were hidden, waiting, because humans had one advantage. They were stubborn. Even erased, even reset, they would rise again. The vision ended. Daejung stumbled, overwhelmed by the ancient memories. "I saw it," he gasped. "I saw what happened. The sword showed me." "What did you see?" "Everything. We were gods once. We touched the stars, and she burned us down to primitives. But we survived. We climbed back up." He looked at the sword in his hand. "This weapon has been passed down through human hands for 50,000 years. Hidden in myths and legends, disguised as treasures and relics, always waiting for the next cycle. Waiting for us to need it again." Hana's equipment beeped urgently. "We need to leave now. I am detecting those ships again. 5 of them. They found us. They ran back to their vessel. As they undocked, Daejung saw the ships approaching. 5 organic mechanical nightmares moving with predatory grace. She knows we are following the trail, Hana said. She is trying to stop us. Then we go faster. How many more coordinates? 6. 6 more extinct civilizations to visit. Daejung plotted their next jump. Then we visit all 6. We learn everything. And then we find her before she finds us. That is a terrible plan. Do you have a better one? Hana smiled despite her fear. No, let us go visit more dead aliens. The ship jumped. Behind them, the Vecthari station hung silent and dark, a tombstone for a species that had reached too far. But its records were no longer alone. Humans remembered now. Humans knew the truth. And somewhere in the darkness between stars, she felt their knowledge. She felt their determination. And for the first time in countless ages, the Eternal Huntress felt something unexpected. Concern. Humans had wounded her before. What if they learned how to do it again? What if this time they found a way to win? She decided to accelerate her timeline. She would not wait for humanity to reach ascension. She would come for them now. While they were still unprepared, the hunt was changing, and the outcome was no longer certain. They never reached the second coordinate. Halfway through their jump, something grabbed their ship. Space twisted wrong. Daejung fought the controls as they were pulled off course, dragged toward an unknown destination. The sword on his back burned hot, trying to protect them, but whatever had caught them was stronger. They emerged in a hidden system. 3 planets orbited a dim red star. Ships surrounded them immediately. Human ships, military vessels bristling with weapons. This is the Echo Guard, a voice crackled over their comms. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. Resist and we will destroy you. Daejung looked at Hana. Echo Guard, have you heard of them? No, but if they are human, maybe they can help. Or kill us, they powered down. Marines in unmarked armor boarded their ship efficiently. Professional, military trained. They confiscated weapons but treated Daejung and Hana carefully, not roughly. One Marine stopped when she saw the sword. He actually has it, she whispered. After all this time, someone actually found it. They were brought to the largest ship, a carrier that looked old but well-maintained. In a briefing room, 2 people waited for them. The man was perhaps 40, lean and intense with calculation in his eyes. I am Kyung, he said, tactical commander of the Echo Guard. The woman was younger, maybe 30, wearing a scientist's casual clothes but with military bearing. I am Bora, chief of research. We have been waiting for you. How did you know we were coming? Hana asked. Because we have been waiting for centuries, Kyung said. Waiting for someone to find the sword. Waiting for the cycle to begin again. He activated a holographic display. It showed a timeline stretching back thousands of years. My ancestors were survivors of the last reset. When she erased humanity's technology and memory 50,000 years ago, a few escaped. They hid in deep space. They remembered. And they passed that memory down through generations, disguised as myth and religion and secret knowledge. Bora continued the explanation. We are their descendants, the Echo Guard. We have existed in hiding for all of human history. We watched humanity climb from primitive existence back to the stars. We waited for the moment when someone would find the sword again, because that would mean she had noticed us. That would mean the hunt was beginning. How many of you are there? Daejung asked. 12,000, Kyung said, scattered across human space. We have been preparing for this war for 50,000 years. Training, building, learning, we knew she would come back eventually. Hana leaned forward. What is she, really? The android called her the Devourer. The Vecthari called her the Eternal Huntress. But what is she? Bora pulled up new data. She is a survivor from a dead universe. Before our universe existed, there was another. It lived its full lifespan and collapsed. She was the last conscious being in that universe. She should have died with it. But she found a way to survive. She crossed into our universe when it was young. And she has been here ever since. How is that possible? Hana asked. That would make her billions of years old. 14 billion years by our estimates, Bora said. She survives by feeding on ascension energy. When a species reaches the point of transcending physical form, they generate enormous amounts of exotic energy. She consumes that energy. It sustains her. Without it, she would fade from existence. So she kills species to stay alive, Daejung said. She erases them, Kyung corrected. There is a difference. Death leaves a body. Deletion leaves nothing. She removes them from reality itself. Only the strongest memories and records remain. Everything else simply stops existing. How do we fight something like that? Daejung felt the weight of the sword on his back. How do we kill a being from a dead universe? You do not kill her, Bora said quietly. That is the truth our ancestors learned. She cannot be killed. She exists outside the normal rules of reality, but she can be wounded. She can be hurt. She can be driven away. The sword proves it, Kyung pointed to the weapon. That blade was forged by the greatest human scientists and warriors of the first cycle. They took material from the cosmic background radiation, the leftover energy from the birth of the universe. They shaped it using technologies we do not fully understand anymore. The result is a weapon that exists partially outside reality. Just like she does, it is the only thing that can touch her. Taemin wounded her with it, Daejung said. The name came easily now, pulled from the sword's memories. I saw the vision. He drove the blade into her chest. She bled. And she retreated, Kyung said. For centuries, she stayed away from humans while she healed. But she came back. She always comes back. And she reset us rather than risk another battle. She learned her lesson. Do not give humans time to prepare. Do not give them time to organize. Strike fast and erase everything. But she failed, Hana said. Some humans survived. You survived. A few thousand out of billions, Bora said. Hardly a victory. And for 50,000 years we have been hiding, waiting, hoping that when humanity rose again we would have a chance to do better. Kyung stood and walked to a window overlooking the ships outside. We cannot run. We cannot hide. She has noticed us. Her servants are hunting. Within months, maybe weeks, she will come herself. When she does, humanity needs to be ready. How do we get ready to fight a god? Daejung asked. By remembering we already did it once. Kyung turned back to them. The sword responded to you. That means it has chosen you. It has not done that in 50,000 years. You need to learn to use it properly. Not just as a weapon, but as what it really is. What is it really? Bora answered. A key, a bridge. A connection to humanity's past and possibly our future. The sword contains the memories and skills of everyone who has ever wielded it. Taemin and hundreds of others. Their knowledge is locked inside that blade. You need to access it. How? By training. By fighting. By connecting with the weapon until it becomes part of you. Kyung gestured to the door. Come, we have prepared facilities. We have instructors. And we have very little time. For 3 weeks, Daejung trained. The Echo Guard had built combat simulators that pushed him to his limits. They had martial artists who taught him techniques passed down for millennia. They had scientists who helped him understand the sword's strange properties. The blade was not just metal. It existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. When he swung it, it cut through more than just physical space. It cut through probability and reality. In the right hands, it could deflect energy that had not been fired yet. It could block attacks from directions that did not exist. You are not fighting in 3 dimensions anymore, his instructor said. You are fighting in 7. Maybe more. The sword sees them all. You need to learn to see them too. Slowly, Daejung began to understand. He stopped thinking of the sword as a tool and started thinking of it as a partner. The weapon responded. Memories flooded into him, not just fighting techniques but feelings. Determination, courage, fear, hope. 50,000 years of human warriors who had faced impossible odds. Hana spent her time with Bora, studying the data they had collected. The Echo Guard had extensive records of extinct civilizations. They had traced the pattern of her hunting. She moves in cycles, Hana explained to Daejung one evening. She sleeps for thousands of years at a time. Then she wakes and hunts. She erases species that are close to ascension, feeds on their energy, and sleeps again. We think she is getting hungrier. The cycles are getting shorter. She used to wait 50,000 years between hunts. Now it is only 40,000, then 30. She is accelerating. Why? Our universe is dying too. Very slowly, over trillions of years. But it is dying. As it does, there is less ambient energy for her to sustain herself with. She needs to feed more often. Eventually, she will need to feed constantly. What happens then? Hana looked away. Then she will hunt all the time. She will erase every species that shows potential. She will become the end of all life in the universe, just to keep herself existing. Daejung felt sick. We have to stop her, I know, but how? Even with the sword, even with all of us, she is so much more powerful. During the 4th week, Kyung called them to a strategy meeting. The entire Echo Guard leadership was present. 12 people representing 12,000 warriors. "We have received intelligence," Kyung said. "She is moving. Her servants report that she will manifest in human space within days." "Not weeks, days. She's coming directly, not waiting for us to reach ascension. She wants to end this quickly. Can we fight her?" one of the other commanders asked. "Not directly. Not yet." Kyung pulled up star charts. "But we can slow her down. We can make her chase us. We can buy time to prepare a real defense." "What kind of defense?" Daejung asked. Kyung looked at him seriously. "The kind that requires sacrifice. The kind that might not work, but the only kind we have," Bora stood. "We have a theory. If we can get close enough, if the sword can wound her again, we might be able to trap her. Not kill her, not erase her, but trap her somewhere she cannot easily escape from. Buy humanity another 50,000 years to prepare. And if the trap fails, then we all die," Kyung said simply. "And humanity dies with us. And eventually every other species in the universe dies too, because she will never stop hunting. She will never stop feeding. She is existence itself run mad with hunger." The room fell silent. Finally, Daejung stood. The sword was at his side, always present now, always close. "Then we do not let the Tishi came on the 7th day. The Echo Guard sensors detected her before anyone could see her. Reality itself was bending around a single point in space. Stars dimmed. Light moved in wrong directions. The fabric of the universe was screaming. 'All ships to battle positions,' Kyung ordered. His voice was calm despite the readings flooding his screens. 'This is what we trained for. This is what we have been waiting 50,000 years for. Do not let fear control you. Remember who you are. Remember what you are protecting.'" Daejung stood in the carrier's observation deck, the sword in his hand. He could feel her approach like pressure in his skull. The weapon was vibrating, resonating with her presence. 50,000 years of waiting, and now the moment had come. Hana stood beside him, her face pale but determined. "Are you ready?" "No," Daejung said honestly. "But I will fight anyway." The space in front of them tore open. Not like a ship's jump. This was violent, wrong. Like the universe was being ripped apart by invisible hands. Through the tier stepped a woman. She was beautiful in a way that hurt to perceive. Human shape but perfect beyond human capability. Her skin seemed to shift between solid matter and pure light. Her hair moved in non-existent wind. Her eyes were old, older than stars, filled with eons of loneliness and hunger. She wore a simple white dress. No armor, no weapons. She did not need them. "Hello, little ones," she said. Her voice resonated across all the Echo Guard ships simultaneously, bypassing communication systems, speaking directly into their minds. "I am called many names. The Devourer, the Eternal Huntress, the End of Ascension. But you may call me Nari. It is a name I took from one of your kind long ago. A human I particularly admired." The fleet surrounded her. 12,000 humans and hundreds of ships, all weapons charged and ready. She looked at them with something like amusement. "You remember," she continued. "That is unexpected. Usually I am thorough enough that no memory survives. But I see now that I was careless last time. A few of you escaped. You have been hiding, planning, hoping." She smiled, and it was terrible. "Hope is a poison, little ones. It keeps you fighting when surrender would be kinder. We will never surrender," Kyung broadcast on all channels. "We know what you are. We know what you do, and we will stop you." Nari tilted her head. "Stop me, how adorable. Do you know how many species have said that to me? Hundreds, thousands. All of them are gone now. Erased, forgotten. You will join them." She raised her hand. One of the Echo Guard ships simply ceased to exist. No explosion, no debris. One moment it was there, carrying 50 crew members. The next moment there was only empty space, as if it had never been. "That is what I do," Nari said. "I delete. I erase, I end. And I do it because I must. Do you know what it is like to be the last? The only survivor of an entire universe? To watch everything you ever knew collapse into nothing. I should have died with my universe. But I was stubborn. I was clever. I found a way to survive, and now I am cursed with existence itself." The fleet opened fire. Energy beams and missiles converged on her position. Enough firepower to destroy a moon. Nari waved her hand. The attacks bent around her, redirected into empty space. "I do not enjoy this," she said. "I take no pleasure in ending species, but I must feed. Ascension energy is the only thing that sustains me. When a species reaches the peak of their evolution, Ready to transcend physical form, they generate that energy. I consume it. I survive another age. And the cycle continues. 3 more ships vanished, then 5, then a dozen. Hundreds of humans erased from reality in seconds. Fall back, Kyung ordered. Scatter pattern. Keep her attention divided. The fleet broke apart, ships darting in different directions. Nari watched with patient interest. She did not chase them. She simply stood in space, untouchable and unstoppable. I can erase all of you, she said. It would take time, but I have nothing but time. However, I am not here for your fleet. I am here for him. She looked directly at the carrier where Daejong stood. Through walls and distance, her gaze found him. The one who carries the sword. Daejong felt her attention like a physical weight. The sword burned in his hand, eager and afraid. You found Taemin's weapon, Nari continued. The blade that wounded me 50,000 years ago. That was foolish. That was brave. I remember Taemin. He was magnificent. He actually made me bleed, which no one had done in billions of years. I respected him enough to make his death quick. I will offer you the same courtesy. Come and try, Daejong said, knowing she could hear him. Nari smiled. Or you could surrender. Give me the sword. Let me erase it properly this time. And I will let you live out your natural lifespan in peace. I will delay humanity's reset by 1,000 years. You would be saving your species time. Is that not worth one man's pride? Do not listen to her, Hana said urgently. She is trying to manipulate you. I know. Daejong gripped the sword tighter, but she is also telling the truth. She does not want to fight me. She is afraid of this weapon. Afraid? Nari laughed. The sound echoed across space like breaking glass. I am not afraid of anything, little human. I am concerned. There is a difference. That sword hurt me once. It could potentially hurt me again. So I offer you a choice. Surrender it peacefully. Or watch me erase everyone you care about until you have no reason left to fight. She began to move through the fleet. Each ship she passed simply stopped existing. Crew members, technology, memories, all deleted. The Echo Guard tried to fight. They threw everything they had at her. Nothing worked. She was beyond their weapons, beyond their science. Bora's voice crackled over Daejong's communicator. We need to do something. At this rate, she will erase the entire fleet in an hour. Kyung's voice was tight with controlled panic. All ships equipped with quantum anchors activate now. Pattern Delta. We are springing the trap. Throughout the fleet, 50 ships activated devices that the Echo Guard had been building for centuries. Quantum anchors designed to create a pocket of folded space-time. A cage made from reality itself. The anchors activated. Space folded. Nari was suddenly surrounded by walls of twisted dimension. The trap had caught her. For 3 seconds it held. Then Nari laughed again and the trap shattered. The 50 ships carrying anchors exploded simultaneously. 2,000 Echo Guard members died in an instant. A clever attempt, Nari said. Truly clever. But you are trying to trap something that exists outside your reality. It is like trying to cage the wind with a box. She appeared on the carrier's bridge, walking through solid walls as if they were air. Marines opened fire. Their bullets passed through her without effect. She moved among them like a ghost, her hand touching each one. They vanished. 20 people erased in seconds. Then she stood before Daejong and Hana. Up close, her beauty was even more terrible. She was not human but wore humanity like a costume. Her eyes held the death of universes. I admired your attempt, Nari said. Most species simply run or beg. You organized. You prepared. You tried to trap me. It was almost impressive. She looked at the sword in Daejong's hands. But now the game is over. Give me the weapon. No, Daejong said. Nari's expression did not change, but something shifted in the air. Pressure built. Reality strained. I could erase you and take it. Then why are you talking? Hana stepped forward. Why negotiate at all? Because you are afraid. You said you were concerned, but that is just another word for fear. You are afraid of what might happen if he uses that sword. Nari's eyes flickered with something that might have been anger. She reached out and touched Hana's shoulder. Nothing happened. Nari frowned. She tried again. Hana remained solid, real, existing. The sword is protecting her. Bora's voice came over the comm, amazed. Its field extends to anyone Daejong is near. She cannot delete them. Nari withdrew her hand. For the first time she showed emotion. Frustration. Clever. Taemin's sword protects its allies. I had forgotten that function. Daejong saw his opening. He lunged forward, the sword aimed at her chest. Nari was fast, impossibly fast, but the sword was faster. The blade connected, she screamed. The sound was not audio. It was pure pain transmitted directly into the minds of every living being in the system. Stars flickered. Planets shook. Reality itself convulsed. Nari staggered backward, a wound in her chest leaking light and shadow. Actual damage. The first time she had been hurt in 50,000 years. "You dare," she whispered. Her voice was different now. Raw. Angry. Real. "You dare," she lashed out. Her hand caught Daejung across the chest, throwing him through 3 walls. Only the sword's protection kept him from being deleted. He crashed into the far bulkhead, ribs cracking, vision blurring. Nari followed him, moving like lightning. "Taemin wounded me, and I reset your entire species in revenge. What do you think I will do to you?" She grabbed him by the throat. Her grip was physical now, solid, real. She was so angry she had manifested fully into their reality. Vulnerable. Daejung raised the sword, but his strength was fading. The blade wavered. "I am old," Nari said quietly, her face inches from his. "So old. I have been alone for 14 billion years. I have watched countless species rise and fall. I have erased civilizations beyond counting. And I am tired, so tired. But I cannot stop. Because if I stop feeding, I will fade." I will see 3 weeks after their first battle with Nari. The Echo Guard was still counting their dead. 4,000 names added to memorial walls. 40 ships reduced to atoms. Families torn apart by deletion, leaving survivors who remembered loved ones that reality itself had forgotten. Daejung's ribs had healed. The physical wounds always did. The other kind took longer. Bora had completed her analysis of Nari's injury. Her findings were both hopeful and terrifying. The sword does not just cut physical matter. It cuts through dimensional barriers. When you stabbed her, you damaged her anchor to our reality. She exists across multiple universes simultaneously. The sword temporarily severed some of those connections. Which is why she screamed, Hana said. She had barely left the research lab since the battle, driven by desperate need to find answers. Exactly. She felt actual pain for the first time in ages, but she healed because she still has connections to other realities feeding her energy. Bora pulled up a complex diagram that hurt to look at. If we could strike her in the exact same wound with enough force, we could sever all her connections. Trap her in a single reality where she would eventually fade from lack of sustenance. That sounds impossible, Kyung said. He looked older now, bearing the weight of 4,000 deaths. How do we hit the exact same wound? She will never let us get that close again. We use quantum anchors, Bora explained. Not to trap her like before. We use them to pin down her movement. 6 anchors at 6 locations, all activated simultaneously, would lock her position in space-time for approximately 3 seconds. That is your window. Daejung touched the sword at his side. It had become a part of him now, always present. 3 seconds to save humanity. No pressure. There is another problem, Bora continued. The anchors need to be placed at sites of extreme dimensional weakness. Places where reality is thin, and those places are the remaining coordinates, Hana finished. The locations of extinct civilizations. Where she erased entire species, she weakened reality itself. Kyung studied the star maps. 6 locations. 6 teams. We split up to place the anchors. But Nari will know what we are doing. She will hunt us, Letter, Daejung said. We make this a race. She chases us, we stay ahead. We place the anchors, we spring the trap. And the teams that do not make it? Kyung asked quietly. No one answered. They all knew some of them would die. Maybe all of them. I will take the first location, Hana volunteered. The frozen moon of Cathera. That is where the Keth civilization died. I have studied their language. I can interface with their remaining systems. I will go to the quantum maze on Tulur Prime, Bora said. It is the most complex location. It requires someone who understands non-linear physics. That leaves 4 more locations for 4 more teams, Kyung said. I will lead one. Daejung, you need to remain mobile. You are the only one who can deliver the final strike. When all 6 anchors are active, you will have 3 seconds to kill a god. Or die trying, Daejung said. Or die trying, Kyung agreed. They separated 6 days later. 6 teams heading to 6 locations across the galaxy. Daejung watched them go from the bridge of his ship. The same small cargo vessel he had fled Epsilon 7 in months ago. It felt like years. Hana left first. Her ship jumped toward Cathara's system. She sent a final message before entering faster than light. See you on the other side. Daejung prayed she was right. The first anchor was placed without incident. Hana reached Cathara, navigated its automated defense systems using ancient Keth protocols, and planted the quantum device in the heart of their dead capital. She sent confirmation and jumped away just as Nari's servants arrived. The second anchor was harder. Bora's team reached Tular Prime and entered the quantum maze. It was a structure built by the Tular people to explore higher dimensions. Inside, space did not work correctly. Corridors led to places they should not. Time moved in loops. 3 of Bora's team members were lost in recursive time streams, doomed to repeat the same 5 minutes forever. But Bora found the center. She planted the anchor and barely escaped before the maze collapsed behind her. The third anchor cost lives. Kyung's team was ambushed by Nari's servants at the Solaran homeworld. 20 ships attacked. Kyung's team fought with skill born of 50,000 years of preparation, but they were outnumbered. Half his people died buying time for the anchor to be placed. Kyung escaped with 3 ships and a message. Anchor 3 is active. She knows what we are doing. The 4th and 5th anchors were placed within hours of each other. Both teams suffered casualties. Both teams succeeded. The communications were brief and grim. Anchor 4 planted. Anchor 5 operational. Then came the 6th location. It was called the Cradle in the ancient records, a system at the edge of known space where one of the first spacefaring civilizations had evolved. They had no name in any human database. They had been erased so thoroughly that even their species designation was gone. The team sent to place Anchor 6 was led by a commander named Minji. She was young, only 25, but brilliant. She had never known Earth. She had been born in space, raised in the Echo Guard, trained for this war since childhood. Her final transmission came 2 days after she entered the system. We have reached the cradle. The ruins here are... I have never seen anything like this. This place is ancient. The civilization here was old when our universe was young. They were beautiful. I can see what they built. I can see what they dreamed. And I can see how she erased them. There is a monument here. It shows her. It shows them begging. She showed them no mercy. Static crackled across the channel. When Minji spoke again, her voice was different. Afraid. She is here. Nari found us. We are placing the anchor now. But she is beautiful. She is talking to us, telling us we do not have to die, telling us we can surrender. Some of my crew are listening. They are putting down their weapons. I am ordering them to fight, but they are not listening. She is in their heads. Weapons fire, screaming, then silence. The anchor is placed, Minji whispered, but my crew is gone. She erased them. All of them. I am alone. She is standing in front of me now. She is smiling. She says I fought well. She says she will make it quick. Minji, Daejung broadcast, knowing it was useless. Minji, run. Get out of there. I cannot, Minji said calmly. She is too fast. Too strong. But the anchor is active. All 6 are online. You have your trap, Daejung. You finish this. You make our deaths mean something, Minji. She is reaching for me. Her hand is... It is strange. It is like light and darkness together. I am not afraid anymore. That is odd. I thought I would be afraid. But I am just tired. I am sorry. Nari's voice came over the channel. I truly am. You fought well, little one. All of you fought so well. I will remember you. That is the only immortality I can offer. The transmission ended. Minji's ship beacon went dark. Another name for the memorial walls. Another sacrifice for the plan. All anchors are active, Bora confirmed. They are stable. They will hold for maybe 12 hours before the systems degrade. You need to draw Nari into the center point. Get her between the 6 anchors. Then we activate them and she will be locked for 3 seconds. And where is the center point? Daejung asked. Bora sent him coordinates. He looked at them and felt his blood run cold. That is Earth, he said. The center point is Earth. Not current Earth, Hana's voice crackled over the comm. She had been studying the data. The coordinates are for Earth, but 50,000 years in the past. The quantum anchors are creating a temporal loop. The final battle has to happen in the same time and place as the first battle, where it all began. How do I get there? The same way she travels between times, Bora said. Using the sword. It exists outside normal time. If you focus, if you connect with it completely, It can take you back. Taemin did it. You can too. Daejong looked at the weapon in his hands. I need to become one with the sword. Yes, Bora said. Completely. No separation between you and it. Your consciousness needs to merge with all the warriors who came before. You need to be Taemin. You need to be all of them. That sounds like I will lose myself. You will, Hana said quietly. But you will also find yourself. Every human who ever fought against impossible odds. Every warrior who refused to surrender. They are all in that blade, and they are all you. We are all you. Humanity is you. Daejong closed his eyes. He felt the sword's pulse matching his heartbeat. He felt memories that were not his own. Thousands of lives. Thousands of battles. Thousands of moments where someone decided to fight rather than flee. How do I draw her to Earth? He asked. You challenge her, Kyung said. You broadcast on all frequencies. You tell her you are waiting. You tell her to come face you where it began. Her pride will not let her refuse. And if she just erases Earth from orbit? She will not, Hana said. She is not just hungry. She is lonely. She wants to be understood. She wants someone to acknowledge what she is. That is why she talks. That is why she offers choices. She wants connection, even as she erases everything. Offer her that connection. Make her come down and face you. Daejong nodded slowly. Then I better think of something good to say. He began broadcasting. Powerful transmitters sent his message across space, across time, through dimensions he could barely comprehend. Nari, he said, I know you can hear me. I know you are out there. Healing Earth 50,000 years in the past was green and alive in ways Daejong had only seen in ancient recordings. The sky was clearer. The oceans were bluer. And rising from the plains were towers of crystal and light. Cities built by humans who had touched the stars long before modern history began, but they were dying. Daejong stood on a battlefield where thousands had fallen. Not bodies. There were no bodies when Nari killed. Just empty armor and weapons scattered across scorched ground. The first human civilization was in its final hours. He could see it happening around him. Cities blinking out of existence. Millions of people being erased from reality. And in the center of it all stood Taemin. The ancient warrior looked exactly as he had in the sword's visions. Tall and scarred. Wearing armor that hummed with technology 50,000 years more advanced than anything modern humanity had built. He held a sword identical to Daejong's. His face showed exhaustion and determination in equal measure. You came, Taemin said. He spoke ancient Korean, but Daejong understood through the sword's translation. From the future. From another cycle. I saw this moment in the blade's visions. I saw you coming. I need your help, Daejong said. I need to finish what you started. Taemin looked at the destruction around them. I failed. She was too strong. We wounded her, but she recovered. Now she is erasing everything we built. Everything we were. Soon there will be nothing left but primitives hiding in caves. All memory of our civilization gone. But they will survive, Daejong said. Humanity will survive. We will climb back. We will rise again. That is what we do. For how long? Taemin asked bitterly. How many times must we rise just to be knocked down? How many times must we reach for the stars just to have them torn away? Until we break the cycle, Daejong said. Until we find a way to win. Is there a way? I think so, but I need both of us. Both swords. Both warriors separated by 50,000 years. Together. Taemin looked at him for a long moment. Then he smiled, tired but genuine. Then let us try. One last time, the sky tore open. Nari descended like a falling star. Beautiful and terrible. She looked the same as she had in Daejong's time. Eternal. Unchanged. Wearing sorrow like a crown. Two of you now, she said. Past and future united. How poetic. But it will not matter. I have already won here. This civilization is ended. And yours, little time traveler, will end soon after. Why? Daejong asked. Why do you keep doing this? You say you are not evil. You say you are just surviving. But this is not survival. This is genocide repeated across eons. Nari landed gracefully. She walked between the two warriors unafraid. Do you know what happens when a universe dies? It does not explode. It does not collapse. It simply stops. The stars fade. The energy disperses. The fundamental forces that hold reality together unwind, and you are left in infinite darkness with infinite time to think. She looked up at the sky. I was a scientist in my universe. I studied the end times. I found a way to transfer my consciousness into a form that could survive the transition. I thought I would find peace in nothingness. But there is no peace in being alone. There is only madness waiting in the dark. So you crossed into our universe, Taemin said. I found a crack, a weakness between dead reality and new reality. I forced myself through, and I was reborn into a universe full of life and light and noise after an eternity of silence. Nari's expression was complicated. It was beautiful, and I was so hungry. Not for food, for existence, for the energy that lets me continue being real. And you found ascension energy, Daejung said. Yes. When species reach their peak, ready to transcend physical form, they generate a burst of energy unlike anything else. It sustains me. It keeps me from fading back into that terrible darkness. So I feed, and I feed, and I feed, because I am too afraid to stop. Taemin raised his sword. You are asking us to pity you while you erase us. I am not asking for pity, Nari said. I am offering you understanding. I am not a monster. I am not evil. I am just terrified. Terrified of being alone again. Terrified of fading. Terrified of that final death where nothing remains. Daejung felt the quantum anchors activating. Bora had timed it perfectly. 6 points of folded space across the galaxy, creating a cage in time. He felt reality locked down around Nari's position. She felt it too. Her eyes widened. A trap again, you are trying to trap me again. Not a trap, Daejung said. A choice. You can keep running. Keep feeding. Keep erasing civilizations. But eventually the universe will die, and you will be alone again, or, Nari asked, or you let go. You stop fighting. You accept the ending and find peace. Nari laughed, but there was pain in it. Peace? I have been running from peace for 14 billion years. Do you think I will suddenly embrace it now? Maybe not, Taemin said. He moved to Daejung's side. Both warriors stood together, swords raised. But we can give you no other choice. The quantum anchors reached full power. Nari tried to move but found herself locked in place. For the first time in eons, she was trapped. Truly trapped. 3 seconds. Bora's voice echoed across time, transmitted through the sword's connection. You have 3 seconds while she is held. Strike true. Nari's fear turned to rage. No, I will not fade. I will not go back to that darkness. I will. Daejung and Taemin moved as one. 2 swords, 2 warriors, 50,000 years apart but united in purpose. They struck at the exact same wound from 2 different angles. The blades pierced through Nari's chest, crossing at the point where her connection to multiple realities converged. She screamed. The sound broke mountains. Cities crumbled. Stars flickered. Reality itself convulsed around the impact point. But the swords did not just cut. They absorbed. Daejung felt the pull immediately. The weapon was not just wounding Nari. It was drawing her essence into itself, creating a prison within the blade. But to maintain that prison, to keep her trapped forever, required consciousness. Required a jailer. One of us has to go in with her, Taemin said, understanding instantly. One of us has to stay in the sword and keep her trapped forever. I will do it, Daejung said. No, Taemin replied. My time is ending anyway. She has already erased my world. Let me finish this. You cannot. The trap needs to connect across all of time, past and future. It needs both of us. The truth hung between them. The prison would require both warriors, both consciousnesses, both sacrificing themselves to maintain eternal vigilance over a being that could not die. My friends, Daejung whispered, thinking of Hana and Bora and Kyung. I wanted to see them again. My family, Taemin said. Already gone. Already erased. But I remember them. That counts for something. Nari was screaming still, her form becoming unstable as the swords pulled her in. Please do not do this. I do not want to be alone. I do not want the darkness again. I can change. I can stop feeding. You cannot, Daejung said gently. You are too afraid to change. Too hungry to stop. So we are stopping you. Not with hate. Not with vengeance. But because we must, he looked at Taemin. Together? Together, the ancient warrior agreed. They pushed the swords deeper. Nari's scream became a sound that had no name, and then suddenly the 3 of them were falling into the blade, into a space that was not space, into a prison made of will and sacrifice. Inside the sword, reality was different. They stood in an infinite space filled with the ghosts of everyone who had ever wielded the weapon. Hundreds of warriors stretching back through time. All of them waiting. All of them ready to help. Nari was there too, trapped. Her power constrained by the combined will of human consciousness. She was still beautiful. Still terrible. But diminished. How long? She asked. How long will you keep me here? Forever, Daejong said. Or until our will fails. Whichever comes first. Forever is a long time, Nari whispered. I know. I have lived it. Then you will not be alone, Taemin said. You will have us. 2 humans to talk to argue with, to remind you that life exists beyond hunger. Nari looked at them with something like gratitude mixed with despair. You are imprisoning yourselves to imprison me. Yes, Daejong said. Why? Why would you sacrifice so much? Because someone has to, Daejong said simply. Because if we do not, you will erase everything, everyone, and because... He paused. Because I think you are tired too. Tired of being alone, tired of feeding, tired of existing in fear. Maybe being trapped here, forced to talk to us, forced to remember what connection feels like. Maybe that is not punishment. Maybe that is healing. Nari was silent for a long time. Around them the prison solidified. The quantum anchors burned themselves out maintaining the trap. In the future, Bora and Hana and Kyung watched as the swords became inert. Powerful still but sealed, waiting. I will fight you, Nari said finally. Every moment, every second. I will try to break free. We know, Taemin said. That is why we both stayed. To hold you, to remind you, to keep you from the hunger. And if I succeed, if I break free, then humanity will rise again, Daejong said. We always do. Maybe next time they will find a better answer. A way to help you instead of trap you. A way to let you rest without deleting everything. Nari smiled sadly. You are optimists. Foolish optimists. We are human, Daejong replied. It is what we do. On ancient Earth, the battle ended. The swords fell to the ground dormant. Around them,